All right. Welcome to Tina and Karen Do the Tube. I'm Karen. Have a little sip of my seltzer water before we get into it. I've been finding that seltzer water is a good alternative to beer or soda. Kind of get that carbonation. I'm sure everyone feels that way. Yeah, not much to discuss in terms of the podcast. We will be trying to put up a podcast as soon as possible. Tina has a sort of a big weekend work-wise and life-wise. His sister's getting married. So, congrats to Tina. But in the meantime, I thought I'd do a mindless 9-gag sort of sweep of all of the top memes there is to discuss. I got 21 notifications. I've been commenting on a few videos earlier today. I'm not going to respond to any of those. But yeah, just to sort of fill the content gap that might be that we're not going to put up a podcast up in this next week, I thought I'd do some meme review. And yeah, a little bit more of the LaCroix. Okay, so LaCroix, is it LaCroix or LaCroix? I don't fucking know. Normally I buy store brand seltzer water, but they didn't have any store brand, and my wife did not like this. I usually like lime or coconut or strawberry, and this is the lime one, but she said it tasted too fake, and I'm literally reading the ingredients, and it has nothing. Carbonated water, natural flavor. And there's nothing more to it, so how is it fake? I don't know. Just some thoughts about the podcast before I move further into this sort of meme stuff. I should be working on trying to get new and interesting guests onto the podcast. Or trying to grow the channel. I don't know exactly how to grow the channel. So if you enjoy this video, if you're going to, check out our other content. Please like and subscribe. We're trying to grow. Nothing would thrill me more than the idea that this podcast is big enough that we're going to get in new, exciting guests and get to talk to, interesting people. That's the whole point why we started the podcast. Everyone out there has an interesting story to tell. We just need to be able to get in contact with them. And so far, neither Tina and I are great networkers, but that could change. Anyways. So let's get started. So we can see on the top headlines, Daft Punk, CocaCola, Texas, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, what we might be expecting, what's trending. I don't know if Texas will be trending so much anymore. The whole sort of winter storm in Texas is sort of past. I'm not that interested in weather, to be honest. I did have a coworker who was from Texas sort of come to me and just sort of complain about it. But honestly, I don't care. I mean, my hearts do go out to anyone in Texas who's going through sort of an unexpected winter storm. I looked this up, and the average sort of winter they get down there is they don't get any colder. The lows around 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius. Those are the lows that they get on average for winter. And what I saw is like during the peak of this storm, they were like, depending on where you were getting like negative 12, negative 20 with wind chill. Some places in Texas, like that's fucking ridiculous. And meanwhile, all of us up here in the Pacific Northwest, we had a bit of a snow scare. It was a little out of ordinary. We had one just 2 years ago, so I don't know if this is the new norm or if this is just, I don't know. But let's get moving on with the memes. I thought this chair was broken. Yeah, cats. Always. There's nothing to that. Fucking quality wife material here. Sorry. What the fuck is
your teeth do look white?
What the hell happened here?
This product works.
Gonna tell me what happened?
I have no idea what's going on here. She's covered in blue paint or something. She's trying to open what?
Exploding.
What?
What is it?
Yeah.
The charcoal tooth whitener.
Oh, the I've heard of that. I'm not interested any further, but the charcoal tooth whitener, I've heard about that. Like, you rub it on your teeth, and it's disgustingly dark. and it looks nasty, and then you wipe it all away, and then it's like perfectly clean. I don't know how it works. Maybe we'll look into that. I'm gonna type this up right now, guys. Come on. Charcoal tooth whitener. Toothpaste. Toothpaste? Let's go with that. Let's check some images, because they're gonna show you how disgusting the teeth are. Yeah, exactly. This is how your fucking mouth looks. Like, oh my god. It's fucking out of a... I would expect that's something out of a... Halloween. That's perfect for Halloween decorations. But if this is what the results are, kind of nasty white, off-white, to fucking Walking Dead, to perfect, pristine white, then maybe it's worth this. But either way, no. Robert Pattinson. This isn't actually a meme, but I just out of thoughts on Robert Pattinson. There is not a single person who probably hates Twilight more than Robert Pattinson, because he seems like he's a legitimately good guy and he wants to be a good actor. He is a good actor. What I mean to say? He wants to be taken as a serious actor, but he's going to forever be haunted by the stigma of being Edward Cullen. Okay, so here we go. Among Slavs. Okay, yeah, so those in the 9gag community know that it's mostly Europeans, some Americans, some Asians, but mostly Europeans. So West Slavs, they get along with each other pretty well. Friends for the most part. Poland, Czech Republic, and Slovakia. Yeah, they're all getting along. I'd love to visit Poland. Poland, I think, was named by Israel or something as, what was it? Fuck. Poland, I can't remember the actual title that was given. Israel dubbed Poland as history's most correct nation. That's not the exact title, so do not quote me on that. But they gave Poland an award because apparently one of the things during World War II, so a lot of the countries in Europe folded to the Nazis almost immediately, but Poland actually defended the Jews. So obviously Israel is going to see Poland, you know what, you guys stand up for us, we're going to stand up for you, so we're going to give you some sort of trivial award. I don't know, but go Poland. Poland I would love to visit. It seems like a good country with good people. I would probably get attacked by some people for saying that, but honest to God, I believe it to be true. Here we go. East Slavs, they don't really get along. Often arguments tend to happen. You got Ukraine, Russia, and Belarus. It seems like Russia's sort of defending Belarus from Ukraine. Yeah, that sort of explains itself, the whole Belarus protest. And then here you got the South Slavs. This is pretty self-explanatory. They all fight with each other. Yep. What do you got here? I don't even know. Okay, so they all hate this country. I wish I knew my flags. I don't know what country that is. It's not up here. But there's an interesting thing about Slavic people. They all sort of come from the same ethnic group, but they form many, many different countries. So I don't know. Maybe I do need to do more research into that, about Slavic heritage and how it divided up so rapidly. Because Eastern Europe is a place that really fascinates me. I've heard a lot of stories, just people commenting and whatnot, about what, I don't know, the elderly's experiences were with dealing with the Nazis, dealing with the Soviets. It's kind of interesting to get a perspective on it, but the short version is Soviets weren't really much better than Nazis in a lot of ways. There's a reason why Eastern Europe is decades behind Western Europe in terms of economics, in terms of social progression. It will stunt your society. That's why I'm really afraid for the United States, because I feel like we're heading down the path of Marxism and communism. I really do, and we will. It's almost inevitable at this point. The funny thing is, a lot of Marxists will tell you that Marx's actual critique of capitalism is that socialism and communism are the logical next steps in a society's evolution. But why are you trying to force it then? Why not just let it happen? Why do you have to sort of stick a wrench in the whole situation? We got to change it by force. If it's the logical progression of a society as we become more material rich and you don't need to compete over resources, just let it happen. I guess some would argue is we're already there, and if we don't transition into a socialist economy. Now we will devolve into fascism with the top ruling over the lower class. I don't know, but those that say that, I just don't see it. I think that we still can make progress. There's still a lot of good that can be done through liberal values. And I say liberal because I told this to my friend Joe, who I had a big argument with and a falling out with, so he and I are both capitalists. Really starch capitalists, by the way. But I think we were capitalists for different reasons. He's a capitalist because he loves money. I'm a capitalist because I love liberalism and freedom. I'm a liberal first, capitalist second. You know what I mean? So being a liberal means I'm a capitalist. It's not that being a capitalist, you can be a capitalist and be pretty illiberal, because that's what I found him to be, is he doesn't believe in a lot of the same freedom principles that I believe in. He just believes that whatever position he's a very cutthroat capitalist. He wants to compete and win and make a lot of money. And I told him, good for you. But you don't stand by liberal principles at the same time. So that sort of bothers me. It does. Because I'm a capitalist because I believe in freedom. Not because I want money. But here we go. I really need to look up that flag. So.
Do you recall what Clemenceau once said about war?
Oh, this is from the movie Dr. Strangelove. I love this movie. All right. All of our precious body fluids. Oh, okay.
He said war was too important to be left to the generals.
Okay.
When he said that 50 years ago, he might have been right. But today, war is too important to be left to politicians.
That could be a good argument.
They have neither the time, the training, nor the inclination for strategic thought.
Mm-hmm.
I can no longer sit back and allow communist infiltration, communist indoctrination, communist subversion.
It's happening, by the way.
And the international communist conspiracy to sap and impurify all of our precious bodily fluids.
That's where it becomes a little ridiculous. I love this guy. This is a great movie.
Mandrake,
I'm gonna open up. I have to look up this. The bodily fluids bit is really fucking funny. I love this movie, but it really made me think just how off he was. Gentlemen, there is no fighting the Orem. Strangelove 2001, A Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket, The Shining, Eyes Wide Shut. Kubrick gave us one of the systematically delivered greatest pieces of cinema. True. Clemenceau was a Republican and believed that in a democratic republic, no power should be left without control. Hence, the war is too important to be left entirely to generals. Quote. By Republican, I'm not saying he's probably a conservative. That's how we think of it in an American context. In a European context, being a Republican just means you believe in the idea of a representative government. Democratically representative government. Got a great screenshots from this. I fucking love this movie. I do. The only better actor. And then the Chinese fuckers turn up with a 1 million strong army because you were addicted to their cheap slave labor. Oh, that is fucking hits the nail on the head. Thank you. I'm gonna up you go. The handsome wizard, misspelled, but okay. He hits the nail on the head. For those listening, we have been made docile. We have been made sedated by our consumerist culture. So much so that we're turning a blind eye to the evil atrocities committed by the Chinese government because we want cheap shit. This is not capitalism. This is like I've argued with a few socialists about this, that like this is like the inevitable result of capitalism. No, I mean dealing with a communist government is not capitalism. It is certainly corporatism. It is certainly consumerism. It is maybe even be fascist, because Benito Mussolini's quote that the point of fascism is a merger between corporate power and state power. So Benito Mussolini himself said that fascism better be described as corporatism, a very strict hierarchy, essentially. They're the ones dealing with China, and I think that most sensible Americans actually do not like this position. I think most Americans would say we'd rather pay more money for American-made goods than deal with China and their fucking evil, unethical principles. Now, that's not everyone. I know a lot of people are just give me the cheap shit, but I have a friend, and he tells me he told me about this site, allusa.com. I'm gonna type it in because we should know about this. Coming soon page. It's not even correct. Okay, I don't actually have it. But he told me about there's a website apparently where you can buy all American-made products. When my wife first moved to the United States, I joked with her that there's nothing more American than made in China. Because that really is. We exported all of our manufacturing to China. I told her that's basically why Trump got elected. Is because people were getting fed up with the fact that, like, all these multinational corporations, these rich elite, were utilizing America's free trade policies to benefit themselves at the expense of the American working class, and they were in bed with China, our geopolitical rivals. That it doesn't make much sense. Let's put it this way. We're going to get back to memes soon, trust me. But it doesn't make much sense, the whole free trade argument. Because on a purely economic basis, free trade makes perfect sense, right? It really does. It actually produces the vast amount of wealth. And there's some benefits to free trade. Problem is, you can't treat nations as if they're corporations. You know, nations... The problem with nations is they can go to war with one another. And that's a huge problem if you're going to basically say this is only an economic partner. It's not, or an economic rival. It's more than that. Nations compete for resources. And that's a problem. So you can't just treat another nation as a economic resource or detriment or rival. You have to treat them as a potential combatant. But moving on. Sometimes heroes use Honda Civics. Something happens at the bike ride almost always. Okay, good. Fuck that douche. Oh, he runs. He got up. Oh, this guy's actually chasing him down too. There's no audio to this. Good for this car. He saw an injustice and he intervened. Good for that guy. I really do think so. All right. Petition to make Terry Crews the next Batman and call it Battery. Battery. Oh, Pat Terry. Jesus. Oh, God. Everyone loves Terry Crews. So there was a post a while back about this whole like. So this has been an ongoing joke on 9gag about the whole idea that like. What's her name? I don't know the actress's name, but a black actress is playing Anne Boleyn, the English queen, who is very obviously documented as a white English woman. A black actress playing a white woman. I guess, like, surface level, I don't care too much about that sort of stuff, but it's part of a bigger cultural war. So, but the one thing I did see is a lot of people basically came out with all these fucking jokes about we should get this actor to play this character. Like Danny DeVito is Michael Jordan kind of stuff, which is funny because tall black guy, short white guy. But the one that I most enjoyed was Terry Crews as Greta Thunberg. That would be fucking amazing if we can get Terry Crews. And I think he'd do it because he's just that kind of like, I think he has that joking spirit to him. I think he's on that side of the culture war. So there's three sides of the culture. There's the left, the left progressives, and the right traditionals. And then there's the memesters, the guys who just care about, let's fuck with y'all. Let's have fun. I think that's where I'm on this culture war third thing. Like, I am most loyal to humor above all else. Yes, I laugh at the ridiculous stuff both sides do in this culture war. I personally think the left does a lot more ridiculous stuff than the right, but the right's perfectly capable of doing fucking ridiculous stuff too. The most important stuff is that we all fucking joke about it. That's the most important stuff, and this is the image. This is Greta Thunberg. This is the small, disabled Swedish woman who is fighting for people's right to exist in a climate change world. By the way, she is not an expert in anything. She's basically an uneducated brat. All right. Great music choice. It's gonna slowly melt. I don't know how far I can swim. Holy Jesus Christ! What's he gonna do? Oh, that's gotta be cold. Yeah, it's a little much. I've never done a polar bear swim.
We need to get COVID vaccinations right away, please. Back of the line. Right this way. Oh! 79 bitches! We need to get COVID.
South Park is a treasure. Nothing more to say about that one. God damn it, I love that. Straight out of White Guilt. No lives matter. You're all cunts. Fuck you. Fuck off. I don't know. Go Arkansas. Nothing more to say. The spider-tailed horned viper, fucking Latin, has a unique tail, looks like a spider. The tail whip is waved around and used to lure insectivorous, birds to within the striking range. Gee, I don't know, that seems boring. I'm not necessarily bored by animal life. Like, this is cool, this is a shark. Time to move Sahara. Get away from the fucking shark. Oh my god. That's a little aggressive. You tricked me. You can tell? Oh my god. I love how smart dogs are, but how obedient they are at the same time. No. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. God, I wish I had a dog. I wish I had a breed like this. This is a gorgeous dog. Actually, my wife actually wants a husky. I don't think it's a huskiness. It's probably close. All right, we finally got to the Coca-Cola time. So this is the big story this week on 9gag. So Coca-Cola recently put out a company-wide seminar or class that was mandatory for all of the employees. And Coca-Cola has something like 20,000 employees nationwide or something. And the class was basically Robin DiAngelo, who is the author of White Fragility, which I've read, by the way, and don't read it. It's a fucking load of garbage. Actually, you know what? Go and read it. It's not persuasive in the least bit for anyone who has a rational thought in their head. It's just dogma. Non-stop, beginning to end dogma. That's why I've joked that this woman is basically a cult leader. Because there's nothing scientific about it. This is why I've actually talked with a few people about her. Because I have friends who work in the public schools. And it became mandatory reading for them to read this book. So I told him, because I heard about the book when we discussed it, he said, you shouldn't judge it before you read it. I said, okay, you got a point. I should at least read it. I shouldn't just listen to what third-party people are telling me about it. I read it. It's garbage. It really is. But it's basically this woman is a racist, and she feels guilty about being a racist, so instead of just looking in the mirror and just admitting her own flaws, she basically says, everyone must be racist, because I'm racist. Fuck her. So, I don't know how to be less white, but I do know how to drink fewer Coca-Cola products. Right. Just for the record, Pepsi is woke too. I've been telling a lot of people that, just so you know. So Coca-Cola got caught with this whole seminar, but Pepsi is perfectly woke. God, I'm not going to get into too much of a tangent for this sort of stuff, but this is really, really bad stuff that the people who are promoting it just don't understand. They really don't, and it's painful. It's painful to watch because you know it's going to lead to really, 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 really bad things. And they're so egotistic with their ideology that they just can't look beyond themselves. It really isn't. Getting away from group identity to get to the individual is nothing short of a miracle. That was the whole course of Western society, is getting us down to the individual, where that is what matters most in a person. That's the Age of Enlightenment. That's modern philosophy. And in one generation of a woke mob, you basically did away with treating people as individuals, and now we're back to group identity. We're back to tribalism. The fucking terrible part about this is it's tribalism. We're basically going to promote every group against the whites. It really is. I'm sorry to say that's what this whole thing, it's promoting racism. And you're training young white people to basically look through the lens of race as the most important factor in their existence. That's what Hitler did. Okay? So it's not good if you try to say, oh, white are superior, white are inferior. It doesn't matter what you think about this sort of thing. Stop trying to look through people in a racial lens as much as you can. Yes, we're not perfect, but we know that it's worse to actually be this sort of tribalistic. Because I really do fear for the future, man. I really fucking do. Because what you're basically promoting to everyone is basically they should make race is the most paramount part of your identity. And when that happens, I just really worry about if there are enough young white men who are basically saying, fine, if we're going to play identity politics, then I'm going to win. Fuck. It really does scare me, people. It really fucking does. The future is very bleak, unfortunately, and people are gonna say to me, like, the funny part is, like, I saw a poll recently. What are Democrats most worried about, and what are Republicans most worried about? So Republicans mostly said their policy positions. I think the three things they were most worried about were illegal immigration, high taxes, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, that we don't. There's not enough support for police officers in society. Those are the three most important things. Three things they feel most worried about. And then if you look at the same poll and they polled Democrats, the poll showed that the three things they're most worried about in society today is Donald Trump supporters, white nationalists, and systemic racism. Forget that third one for a second. The top two things that they feel worried about in society are Donald Trump supporters and white nationalists. Now, to them, those are synonyms. They don't see the difference between those two things, unfortunately. But there's a huge fucking difference. One, Trump supporters typically don't give a shit about race. So white nationalists actually do care about creating an ethno-state for white people, a racial state. But I really do feel this way. The amount of people who actually want that. Oh fuck! I just realized that Jay Inslee is on this page. God damn it, that fucking sucks. Worst governor in America. God. You know we're 47th in the nation in terms of like getting kids back in school, and we're 45th in the nation in terms of like rolling out vaccinations. Yeah, Inslee's a fucking dipshit. I have nothing good to say about that guy. I lost my train of thought. Something about that doesn't matter. I've run my mouth enough about this subject. So those are my thoughts on the Coca-Cola thing. I'm not surprised by it in the least bit. This is going to be the norm going forward. I myself have already had to take a class that teaches me how evil my ancestors were. Okay, here's the thing. White people did a lot of evil things in history. They did a lot of good things in history. Every racial group in throughout history has done a lot of evil. They've also done some good. So what? That has nothing to do to the individual. So people are going to be mad at me because people who looked sort of like me 100 years ago did something bad to people who sort of look like you? Not even 100 years ago. More likely 500 years ago, 300 years ago. I don't know. That's such a fucking ridiculous sort of thing. Get the fuck off here, Inslee. Worst governor in America. God. I don't like to promote violence, but if I had a list of people I would like to punch, Inslee might be at the top of the list. And I say that with hesitance because I really hate violence, but he really is a terrible governor, people. Here's how bad Inslee is. Inslee, prior to calling out Trump, he had a negative approval rating amongst not just Republicans in our state, but Democrats. Democrats hated him too, because in his first 2 terms in office, he's the only governor in America who saw the poverty rate and the income inequality rate increase. Every other governor in America, they have those numbers decrease. He let those numbers increase. Homelessness is up. Traffic has never been solved. Taxes are up. He is a shit governor, people. And he ran for president because he thinks, hey, I can solve climate change. No, you fucking can't. You can't stop the earth from fucking spinning, you dipshit. This arrogant asshole. All right. I've ran my mouth all right.
Okay, so this is from Cyberpower PC, and we couldn't figure out why the computer wouldn't boot up properly. And so we were checking out making sure everything was
That shouldn't be loose.
on properly. And my brother noticed this piece of plastic underneath the cooling fan. And they literally never took off the plastic. And they just applied the thermal paste.
If they had read.
That seems more of a PC sort of thing. I can appreciate the fact that there's some stupid people who basically forget to take the process. Oh yeah, I can see it now. Look at that. What's that? Please peel. Okay, I can definitely see it now. That's more niche. Oh, what do we got here? That's clever. Also, that's not at all I'll weight you.
You work out at? Okay, dang. Do you do like protein stuff?
Yeah.
I was gonna say you must because you have a great ass.
Oh my god.
I said you have a great ass. What?
Stop saying that game.
I was just complimenting you. Can I see? Wow. Excuse me? Hey, what gym do you go to?
I don't go to.
Oh, really? Yeah. Thanks, I was gonna say that's a nice ass, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Nice ass, dude.
Thank you.
Touch it?
Yeah, go
A little
ahead.
better, yeah. Oh, no, you
like
didn't want to
that?
touch it. That's a little,
Huge.
Thank you. I've been working.
that's a little too gay.
Have a good one.
Nice ass, bro.
Yo, dude.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I get the trick. Chinese person has opinion. The Chinese government. Yeah. That's very Tiananmen Square-like. All right. Ooh, look at that.
That's so cool.
A rotating driveway. That's fucking brilliant. Okay, that's pretty cool. Someone is currently developing a video game where you are a cat exploring Kowloon Walled City. Okay. I'll play it. I love Goat Simulator. That's all I can say about that. Coca-Cola, be less white. Pepsi, yeah. Oh, yes, they do something stupid. Fuck yeah. Full disclosure, though, Coca-Cola tastes a lot better than Pepsi. I can taste the difference. Pepsi, it's the taste of a new generation. Fuck it. No. Coca-Cola's better. And I try to remind people once again, Pepsi is woke too. This is actually a good time to talk about this, and I'll probably close on this. So none of these companies are truly woke in the sense that they care about social justice. It's all about profit to them. A study came out recently where they sort of polled people of all different political persuasions, conservative, moderate, liberal. I hate using that word, but you understand what I mean by when I say it. So, and what they found was, like, if a company is seen as politically neutral, it didn't really affect conservatives, moderates, or liberals' shopping habits. They still would more or less likely patronize the business. But when the company was perceived as being liberal, being very progressive, what happened was conservatives and moderates were not really less likely to patronize the business, but liberals were far more likely to patronize the business. The reverse was not true. So if a company was perceived as conservative, right-wing leaning, conservatives and moderates weren't more likely to shop there, but liberals were far less likely to shop there. So the summary of that, it's really short. Conservatives and moderates don't really care the political leanings of the company they're patronizing. They just care about the product. But liberals, once again, I hate using that word, liberals actually genuinely care about the values of the company. Yeah. So that's why more companies, as you see it, more corporations are basically moving towards the left, because what they're finding is, like, it's not going to hurt their bottom line. I don't know if that's 100% true, though, because I know the NFL ratings are way down. I think that's primarily due to because of their commit to Black Lives Matter. And for anyone who's listening to this, Black Lives Matter is a Marxist movement. It's not even questionable. So if you support Black Lives Matter, you support Marxism, you support communism, okay, I don't care. I know you feel like it's about something else. That's not what it's about. The leaders of Black Lives Matter are very clear about their position. They don't like the United States, and they want to see the entire thing scrapped. I recently saw a picture of one of the founders, the co-founders of Black Lives Matter, posing with her fist in the air alongside Nicolas Maduro, the Venezuelan dictator. So, I have personal reasons to not like that. Now, on a philosophical level, I don't like Black Lives Matter because I think Black lives actually do matter. And I don't think they're pawns for your political game. But on a more pragmatic level, I have a very direct cause to thing that I don't want to support them, because if they support someone like Maduro, then fuck him. Maduro's a cunt. Fuck him and everyone who supports him. No, I don't want to say everyone who supports him. Some people are just stupid. Anyways, those are some of my thoughts for this week. Here's Mindless 9 Gag. I hope we can get a podcast going with Tina. I'll put that out when I can. But for the rest of y'all, stay safe and stay hydrated. I love you.